Hey, hello everyone on YouTube there. Just going to set up my Facebook video now, so just bear with me. Now, let's see if we're live. I think you can see there. There we go. Perfect. Welcome along everyone, and I'll get started now just in 1 minute. Let everyone tune into the channel there. Hi Carla, how are you? So just to anyone maybe not tuning in live, I know some people are watching from America, Spain. If you want to skip forward maybe 2 minutes and you'll be right into the live content then. Just making sure everyone gets a chance to tune in before I give the intro. Mary, Patsy, Liz, all very welcome along. Spain, there we go. Very good to have you, Julie. Pauline, Alan, great to have you with us. So as I said, I'm just giving 1 minute and then I'll give a little introduction about the style of class that I'm going to deliver today. Fidelma, Henry, Stephanie, great to see you. Hope you're keeping well. Good to see the Ballyfermot gang staying strong and active. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll just give a little introduction. I'm just going to stand back so YouTube can see me as well. So my name is Shane, South Dublin trainer, and I deliver some of our COPD classes. So just to give everyone a kind of welcome along, even if you don't have COPD, you're absolutely welcome to participate in this class, and great to have you with us. Some of the considerations and the style of this class is modelled on people who have COPD and lung conditions. So if you find this class a little bit difficult or parts a little bit hard, do just bear in mind it is for that kind of goal, but anyone is welcome. And people seem to find some of the parts interesting, and it is an interesting style of class. So what we will do is a usual circuit format. That's what we like to follow with COPD. And just something I like to show at the start. I know this might come out kind of upside down, and sorry if there's a bit of a glare on that. Yeah, it's just with the sun, sorry. Not worry about it too much. Basically, we use a scale, 0 to 10. It's called the Borg scale. And where we like to work is 3 to 4. So if I ask you during this workout, anyone with COPD or a lung condition, I would just say work at 3 to 4 out of 10 on that scale. So if you said how hard the session was, particularly in terms of your breathing, 3 or 4 would be the perfect zone. Just it was a little bit sunny there, we'll not worry too much. So Patrick, Liz, Anne, Mary, great to have you all with us. Sorry to anyone who I missed. So I think that's enough from me. Let's just get straight into the movement with a little warm-up. So we can take a seat for this. We'll just do a general warm-up. We'll keep this part seated with our warm-up. So what I'm going to do is just start off with a little bit of light marching. So just want to kind of get the blood flowing, warm our bodies up, loosen out the joints. As I said, this is a circuit type class. Some of the movements will be tough enough. So it really is important that I take the time to properly warm my body up. Just get the lungs, particularly those of us with COPD, just kind of get the lungs switched on as well. Just air in, air out. And then we'll just kick the legs out. And for the warm-ups, I never really worry about reps or anything like that, just lots of movements, kicking the legs out. So warming up, loosening everything out. And then just return back to a nice light march. Perfect. And next, what I want to do is, just as I move into a little bit of upper body work, just kind of straighten my position. Just make sure I'm not slouched in the chair, nice and straight. And what I'm going to do is just lift right arm up and left arm up. With this one, I'm not worried about how far I get the arm. I'm not looking for perfect overhead. I just want you to lift as high as is comfortable to you. If you need to stop in shoulder level, that's absolutely fine. And because we're alternating, you can choose, each side might be a little bit different. No kind of swing of the arm, just a nice, slow, controlled raise. And I always like to keep the movements with COPD quite dynamic in the warm-up. Lots of movements, loosening our bodies out, warming ourselves up. Okay, next I'll just fold the arms. Take a nice slow rotation to the right and left. So just important that I just take the time, just kind of loosen out the back as well. Just slowly turning side to side, just to the right and to the left, just taking my time to warm up, just loosen out any kind of stiffness, tightness in the back, particularly before we go on to using our weights. And just in case anyone doesn't, if you do have a set of weights ready for this workout, that's great. You can use 2 bottles of water. And if you don't want to use weights, that's absolutely fine. You can just clench your hands instead and create a little bit of tension that way. Now, hands on legs, stretch down, hands towards feet. Again, just keep it nice, controlled. And then naturally you might kind of shoot down on this one, but just take your time and just ease down, hands towards the feet. Just go nice and smooth, hands down towards feet. Okay, and just finishing out that warm-up, just like raise right arm and right leg. So as I say, just nice dynamic movements, right arm, right leg. And swap opposite side, so left arm, left leg. I know on Facebook that looks the opposite way, but not to worry. Just think everything moving on the one side. Okay, and then let's get really kind of fun on this last one. Opposite arm, opposite leg. And I know the Bally Firm gang won't thank me for this one. Opposite arm, opposite leg. We like using this one a lot. Just exercise for the brain on this one as well. Opposite arm, opposite leg. We'll just go 3, 2, 1, and back down. Okay, so we're going to go into a little kind of aerobic strength circuit. This is something I like to do at the start of sessions. Particularly, normally in a group setting, I would have you guys kind of marching, walking, moving, just with the practical implications. We're not going to do that. So we're going to do some marching mixed with some movement. So I just grab my timer. If anyone is not comfortable, everyone is different. If you want to do these movements in a seated position, you can absolutely do that. But I'm going to lead from a standing position if that's okay. So just a quick check the comments, everything's okay there. Sylvia, Bernie, Kay, Marion, great to have you all with us. So all I want to do is just to start off, nice march, okay? So I'm going to go for about 60 seconds on this march. And we just keep ourselves moving. I have the chair here, so if I feel in any way unbalanced, I hold on. And I want you to regulate. So if you feel very comfortable with this march, you can go with a nice intensity. If you know, particularly those of us with a lung condition, you'll know your own kind of pace. So if you need to go at a much slower pace, that's absolutely fine. So regulate, choose a pace that's right for you. So don't have to be really fast. Equally, you don't need to go really slow. It's whatever is right for you. Just a nice, steady march. Okay? But think of the endurance of it. 60 seconds. you want to be able to try and sustain that. So not easy. So last couple of seconds, 3, 2, 1, and down. Next, we'll move into a strength movement using body weight. I will turn myself to the camera for this one if that's okay. What I want to do is heel raises, but I'm going to flare the toes outward. So just to show you what I mean is I flare the toes out and I lift from that position. Okay, so I'm going to start that one off. Hold the back of your chair, toes are pointed out, and I want you to start lifting your heels up. Okay, so my toes are pointed away and I'm lifting the heels up. So I'm just coming at the calf, the back of my lower legs from a different angle. And then we'll return to a march and we'll change the angle again. I just find this works quite well. Again, from my own experience with some of the groups, particularly for walking, if we can come at the calf, the back of the lower leg from 2 different angles, it can just really help loosen out. Okay, so you're working for a block of time again, 60 seconds. Go at your own pace here, lifting the heels up, and exactly the same movement if in a seated position. So let's continue on for 10 seconds, heels up. So I'm just using my body weight, working the legs hard. 3, 2, 1. Okay, shake the legs out. And let's go back to a march. So again, the chair is there if you want. And let's march. 60 seconds. And again, regulate this. Remember the endurance. This can start easy. By 60 seconds, we might feel a little bit breathless and uncomfortable. So do regulate. If you need to slow the pace down, I want you to slow it down. But if you feel quite comfortable, quite fluid, that's absolutely fine. And my chair is there for support if I want. Equally, if I need to sit down at any point, that's absolutely fine. Okay, so we'll just continue on. Just remember breathing all the time. Air in, air out. And let's keep it going. 15 seconds. Slow it down if you're finding this tough. Nothing wrong with that. Go at your own pace. Everyone's different. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and down. Going to work on the calves again. Bear with me. I know this might be a tough session, so really well done so far. What you're now going to do is point the toes inwards together. So point your toes towards each other, and that's the angle I will lift from. Okay? So I'm going to set myself up. I hold the back of my chair, point the toes towards each other, and lift the heels up. So I'm just coming at the calf, the back of my lower legs from a different angle. And as I say, just find with some of the groups, if they find cramping in the back of the lower legs, this kind of movement coming at the calf from 2 different angles like this can be very effective. It might just open up an area that's quite tight. So again, just by changing the angle of pointing toes out and then in on this one, we can really get a good blast of those lower legs. We keep those lower legs strong. Okay, so again, keeping the body tall, lifting heels up, keeping the toes pointed in. So last 10 seconds, doing really well. Again, breathless at any point, just rest. Let's keep going if we can for 3, 2, and 1. Okay, just going to march it out one more time if that's okay. Anyone feeling breathless, take a little breather, rest arms on the chair, air in, back out. Okay, so let's go again. If you're feeling comfortable with one more round on your march. Okay. So again, just to anyone, as I said, anyone is welcome along to this session, whether you have COPD and a lung condition or not. But just the style of session might seem quite tough, and it's something the guys with COPD will be quite familiar with. But equally to those of us who aren't and find this tough, don't be afraid to just strip it back a little bit. Go a little bit slower, take your time. And again, anyone with COPD, as we always say in the classes, mindful of in terms of breathlessness. So if you feel breathless, we'd always say sit down, rest, recover, join back in when you feel ready. Okay? So you don't need to push yourself through anything you're not comfortable with. Last couple of seconds. 3, 2, 1, and down. Perfect. Okay. One last body weight move, and then we're going to go straight into our kind of weight and weighted circuit. So keep this one simple. Hold the back of your chair, and all I want you to do is lift your leg out to the side, back in. Keep your body fixed and focus on that one side. Continue on. Use your chair, but just so you have a kind of nice demonstration of what I'm doing. But do hold your chair in front. Just lift your leg to the side, back in. And I keep that upper body straight, nice and tall. So just a couple of inches to the side from that hip. Okay, and I'll just finish out the last couple of seconds. 3, 2, 1, back in. Just a little jig, shake out the legs. Again, have your chair in front. You swap sides, lifting the leg out, left leg out now. So again, my body stays straight. I don't want to tilt to the sides. I want to keep this part all nice and tall. And I just lift that left leg out from the hip. Okay. So last couple of seconds, just maybe 5 seconds left here. 4, 3, 2, 1, and back in. So just a little rest recovery. If you, as I say again, keep it simple. Rest the arms. Just take some of that kind of pressure off the lungs. Just rest the arms down. Air in, air out. Drink of water if you need. Okay. And I always try and pick one breathing type for each session. What I do for this one today is our candle technique. This was mentioned in the comments, I think, last week, and it's a really good method. So imagine a candle in front, and you don't want to blow it out. So if I took air in, it would just flicker as I breathe out. So imagine your finger would just wiggle like a candle. You're not going to blow it out. It's about slow exertion. So again, think air in, slow release. So if my finger was a candle, it would just flicker. So again, air in and flicker. So just think short, quick breath in. Think 1, 2, and then up to a 5-second release. Okay, so that's called your candle technique. That can be a really effective one if you feel a little bit breathless. And anyone without COPD, again, it can just be a nice little technique. If you feel a little bit anxious at any point in the day, it can be a really nice little technique. So let's get into our main block of work. Just grabbing my session here. Right. So 5 movements. We're going to have a sit to stand. So we're kind of a regular sit to stand from our chair with a little arm press. We're going to have an arm curl. We're also going to have a little knee tap variation. We have a chest exercise with our weights. And then we have a little weight shift. So 5 movements. Not going to get into we'll just get straight into the movements and I'll explain them along as we go. We're going to work for about 45 seconds per movement. And we'll take a little rest between each exercise. If you don't like the look of any exercise, adapt and try and do it in a seated position. Or equally, if you need to change any movement, just change it for something you're more familiar with. So if you think something looks a little bit challenging, something you wouldn't be happy with, just change it. The main thing is you're active and moving for this type of session. So movement number 1, we're going to go with a sit to stand, okay? I'm not going to use any weight on this first round, but we might bring it in on the second part. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to sit myself forward in the chair, nice and tall, feet in a good strong position to press, and I will begin. Stand up nice and tall, press the arms and back in. Now, I'm mindful in this position. If you need a little push from the side of the chair, that's fine. And if you find this pressing action is a little bit too difficult, no need to do it. Just continue without. And if you are not comfortable with a sit to stand, I would do a leg extension. So you just extend your leg and back down. So you don't need to do a sit to stand if you're not comfortable. So again, it's all about choosing what's right for you. We can see I can walk or I can talk as I perform this exercise, and I should be able to always. So if you feel you couldn't talk during the exercise, that would be a sign of pushing too hard, in which case you would scale it back and rest. Okay? So what I want to do is grab hold of our 2 weights next. We'll just check with that afterwards, Brenda. Very welcome along. So I'll check in on you with the comments after the session, if that's okay. Good question there. So next, arm curl. What I want to do is grab my 2 weights. Okay. I want you to put your right foot forward on the toes and curl. So this is just going to slightly challenge my balance, but in a very safe, controlled way. If this doesn't feel balanced or comfortable to you, rest the foot back in. But again, if I just show you from the side, I've put my right foot out on the toes, and this just makes kind of very straightforward move like an arm curl, that little bit more challenging. So my core is switched on, and I just keep myself balanced. So again, not to kind of overthink this movement too much, I've just pushed my out on the toes of my right foot as I curl the weights up. And back down, 45. Perfect. We'll keep hold of our weights, okay? And what I want to do is right arm out. So let the left arm down, hold the right weight in front, just in a natural position in front. And I'm going to raise my knee towards the weight, okay? So let's begin that movement in 3, 2, 1, and go. So knee up, back down. If I feel unbalanced, I hold my chair. If I want to perform this seated, I just sit down and lift knee towards waist. And you'll see I'm just focusing on one side, and I'm not rushing this movement. Okay? And I'm just going to continue from the side. Just you'll see I'm not kind of rounding or bending my back. My upper body stays fixed. And I just think knee towards waist. But I'm not too fussy. I don't need to physically touch the weight. It's just the act of lifting knee towards. And rest down. So I rest that right arm. And now I lift the left side, the left weight in front. So just to show you from the side, that's the position. And I will begin. Lift the knee in front, back down. And again, I would hold on to a chair if I felt unbalanced. Equally, I could sit down and perform it in a seated position. So again, it's about picking, choosing the level that's right for you. We'll see we're not hurrying. We're not rushing this movement. Knee towards waist. And let's just show you that from the side as well. My upper body stays straight. I'm not bending. Just keep everything nice and tall. And we'll just finish out now. We'll just check in with my timer there. And that's us. Rest. No, we hold on to our weights. Sorry. So, for this next movement, I want us to take a seat. Okay. You could perform this standing, but I would recommend, and I think it'll just be a little bit smoother, more comfortable to perform it in a seated position, particularly just mindful of the back and that we don't arch or sway when using weights. So just for this one, I'd like to take a seat. I'm going to call this a chest sweep. So if you have arms on the chair, just make sure you're outside of the arms of your chair. And the action will be a sweep through. So I hold the weights and I just sweep through. The weights come up to chest height and then I lower the arms down. So I press through. I'm just going to show you that from a couple of different angles now. So I'll show you from the side. Again, just so you can see that action. Sweep the weight through. And you'll see I don't go any higher than chest level. Okay? And that's why I like to perform this one in a seated position. Just so that I can keep my back supported and straight. So I'm not swinging, arching my back. So I would, as I say, recommend doing this one in the seated position. Particularly as you maybe try it for the first time. I just want a little connection, squeeze in my chest. One more, and rest down. We will lower the weights down, not using them for the last movement. Okay, so I've just let the 2 weights down. I'm going to have my chair beside me here for support. And I'm going to demonstrate this next movement. Left foot is forward. Just an inch forward, and I lift my right knee up and step back. Okay, so continuing on, right knee up, step back. If I don't like this movement, I can just lift the knee from a seated position, and that's absolutely fine. What this is a nice dynamic balance weight shift. So my left leg is strong, it's stationary, it keeps me strong. On my right side, I connect with the hip as I lift that knee. I have the chair beside me for support, and I'm going to use that on this first round just to make sure I feel comfortable and balanced with this movement. And again, let's just finish out and down. So let's swap sides. Shake it out a little bit if you need. Again, I want to hold on to the chair, certainly on this first round. Step your right foot forward, and let's begin by lifting the left knee. And step back. So left knee up, and step back. So get that nice little dynamic kind of weight shift from back to forward. Again, this is about you regulating the movements. I can go quite slow, and I just lift the knee as high as I feel comfortable. If I feel very comfortable, I can be a little bit more fluid with this movement. So really it's 2, 1, and rest, okay? So take a rest. We're going to repeat the circuit, but in between I want you to rest. The guys with COPD will know what we mean when we say just kind of rest on the back of the chair. Take that pressure off the lungs. If you need to sit down, that's fine. And I'm just going to guide us through our breathing candle technique again. So just going to sit forward. And again, think there's a candle in front and you just want it to flicker. So I'll take air in and I'm going to make it flicker. So again, air in, slow draw, release. Big deep breath in. Slow release. Okay, and maybe just let me know if everything is okay there. Just hit a few likes on the comments just to let me know that's all okay. Again, please do just pick the level that's right for you. There's no pressure. Do what's comfortable for you. But let me know that's all okay so far. And we will go into a second round if that's okay. So again, sit to stance. So I'm going to just have my chair at the ready. If the first one felt very comfortable, you can now use a weight, a dumbbell, on the pressing action. Okay, and thanks for the likes there. It's just great to know, just reassuring for myself that it's all okay so far. So thanks very much for hitting the likes there. So with or without the weight, and just remember, if you're doing it seated, just doing a leg extension. I'm choosing my weight this time. I stand up nice and tall. I press, weight returns, back down. So again, this is quite a challenging dynamic movement, but it's how I control it. I'm not kind of sloppy, I'm not lurching, I'm not bouncing between positions. I take my time, I lean, I stand nice and tall, set position, press the weight, back in, sit down. So I take my time. This is not a movement I'm going to get 20 reps on in our time, not at all. I'd rather get 5 nice, good control reps where I feel in control than 20 really fast where I feel breathless. Okay, so I'm in control and rest. So first movement done. Let's go into movement number 2. Again, we'll have our 2 weights. Just checking there. Great stuff. Great, Stephanie and Geraldine. Brilliant. Thanks very much. Arm curl with a little balance as well. Tap the toes. Sorry, it's adjusting my angles. Tap the toes of your, let's go with the left side this time actually. Tap the toes of your left foot out. Elbows in and curl. Okay, so up and back down. Up, back down. So I'm on the toes of my left foot, so I'm challenging my balance a little bit. It goes without saying, if that feels uncomfortable, rest the foot in. And if I need to do an arm curl in a seated position, that's fine. The reason I'm doing it like this is I just find this is a movement and we can kind of go through the motions a little bit on. We can kind of aimlessly swing. So just by putting the toes of your left foot out, you're just challenging your body that little bit more as you curl the weights up and down. So we turn a kind of straightforward move into something much more difficult. And then rest down. Okay. Hold on to your weights. Okay. Just going to set myself up at the timer. Now, rest your left weight down and lift the right weight in front. So that's the position, just directly in front. Not raised, just in front. And I begin. Knee towards waist. Again, I don't need to hit off the waist. I just lift towards, as high as comfortable. And if I want, I will hold the chair with my other hand. Or if I feel balanced, I just continue to hold the weight. Even just that act of holding weight on one side, really good. It's just getting the body working, getting all the kind of systems switched on, your balance, your core. But we keep this controlled. So again, there's no rush. I'm particularly mindful of one like this that I just wouldn't go too fast. Just keep this steady. And I can do this movement in a seated position. So you can change it, make it your own movement. And rest. Take a second, a little jig. And let's swap. So now I rest the right side down and the left weight is in front. Okay? And I will begin. I lift my left knee and back down. So just think knee towards waist. I don't need to physically hit off. I just lift towards. I keep the tempo very controlled on this one. I definitely avoid speed on this one. And I will use a counter chair if I feel unbalanced. And if it's just proving that a little bit too difficult, I just sit myself into the chair and continue this action. I keep my back straight so I'm not bending. The only movement is that knee lifting up. Okay, so mightn't look too hard, but I'm sure we're finding not an easy one this. So let's just finish out 2, 1 and rest, okay? So hold on to the 2 weights still. We'll take a seat again just for these chest sweeps. As I say, I just personally recommend sitting down for this one. I just think it'll just give your back that little bit of support and it's worth being that little bit mindful. I can't see how everyone is performing it. So I'm just going to err on the side of caution with this. Sit ourselves down. Hold the weight. So the palms of my hands are faced forward towards the camera here. And I just think sweep through. Weights up to chest height. Back down. Just mindful not to kind of swing the arms. I would think of this as a gentle push through. Okay, so I just press the weights forward and squeeze. The weight's not going above chest height. And you'll see the weights just naturally drift towards each other. They might even give a little kind of clink together. That's absolutely fine. Just mind the fingers, but the weights will just gradually just drift towards each other. And I get that nice little squeeze connection with my chest. I always think it's good to just strengthen those muscles around our lungs, particularly with COPD. And let's just get one more. And back down. Okay. I'm going to rest the 2 weights down, not needed for this next movement. So again, this will be our kind of dynamic balance, a little bit of a weight shift here. So again, I want to have my chair at the ready for support. Left foot, take a step forward, and I begin. Right knee up, and a little step back. Right knee up, and a little step back. So again, regulate, make this movement your own. If you can get quite high, that's brilliant. If you need to go a little bit lower on the lift, just do that a little bit lower. You can go quite fluid with this movement, or you can step it back and go a little bit slower. And if you need to do this in a seated position, just lifting the knee, that's fine. Everyone, you just pick your own level, the pace, the level that's comfortable for you. We're all a little bit different, whatever works for you. Okay, I'm just going to get a last few. 3, 2, 1, and rest. Shake the legs out, and we're just going to go to the opposite side. So again, I'm holding on to my chair for support. Right foot forward, lift the left knee, step back. So again, as high as I feel comfortable. I'm not going to step too far back. I want to feel in control. And I'm just mindful that, again, my upper body doesn't kind of bend. It stays straight. Imagine a sheet of glass in front of your body and behind your body. Okay. Just that little step, lift in front and back. And again, slow it down if you're finding it a little bit breathless. Again, any point if you feel kind of breathless, uncomfortable, couldn't talk as you perform this, sit down, take a breather, join when you are ready. As we get our last lifts here. 3, 2, 1, and down. Okay, again, rest against the chair, take a seat, take a drink of water. We're going to take a rest and we will do one final round. Okay, so again, I'm just going to kind of zoom into the camera for a little bit of breathing again. That's great. So again, I just try and not overload you with loads of different breathing techniques. I'm just focusing on the one style today, if that's okay. I think it's best to just try one and practice that one technique. So again, our candle breathing. So imagine a candle in front, big deep breath in, slow release. So the candle light would flicker. Big deep breath in, fill the lungs, and slow release. Big deep breath in. Let's just do 2 more. Big deep breath in. Slow release. Once more. Slow release. Okay. I did actually think about using a candle, but I thought I'd look crazy on camera doing that. So best not to. I just use the finger to mimic. But just think there's a candle in front. Big deep breath in, and you just want the light to flicker. So you're not going full force on the exertion. It's slow, controlled breath out. That's all. So, one final round. Everyone's different. If you feel you've done enough, that's absolutely fine. Everyone is just kind of work at their own pace. If we feel okay, we're going to do 1 third and final round. Okay, and again, just see how the first 2 rounds were. If you need to slow it down, if you need to do any part seated, that's absolutely fine. So, again, I'm going to do my sit to stand with a weight. Maybe you want to do it without the weight, that's fine. And leg extension, if you're just finding the sit to stand's a little bit tough. So let's begin. I have the weight at my chest. Stand up nice and tall. Nice smooth press. Back in and down. So it takes a little bit of time to complete a full repetition, but I'm taking the time I don't want to rush at any point. Again, lean forward, stand up, press the weight back into my chest, and sit down. And I separate every rep, so I don't want to kind of bounce up after I sit down. I just regulate, take a couple of seconds, reset. And again, if you're doing this without a press, that's absolutely fine. Even just bearing that weight in at your chest will make this movement a little bit tougher. So again, it's kind of my key message. Just adapt and pick the level that's right for you. And rest. Okay, that movement finished. Second movement, we'll hold on to our 2 dumbbells. Okay, I'm just going to set my timer there. So again, 2 weights, again for our arm curl. So my hands face forward, elbows in. And I go out onto the toes of my right foot, if I feel comfortable in that position. Curl the weights up, and I lower down, so you can see that. If you feel unbalanced, it goes without saying that we just bring the foot back to a natural position. But as I say, we just turn that kind of simple arm curl into a much more challenging movement. I'm on the toes of my right foot, the heel is off the ground, and I'm curling in that position. I'm just kind of working, challenging myself that little bit harder on this arm curl movement. And I'll show you from the front as I get my last couple of repetitions. 3, 2, let's get one more. And back down. Okay, so really well done on that one. Not easy. Now, what I want us to do is just rest the left side down, hold the right side in front. The right weight is in front. And I will begin with my knee lifts. So right knee towards the waist. If I feel unbalanced, I hold on to the chair. But again, if I don't, I'm still holding the weight on that left side. If you needed to do this without the weights on this third round, you could do so. Still going to be a tough movement. And if you need to do this seated, again, still not going to be easy. So whatever level you pick, whatever you're comfortable with. But again, just kind of resist the urge to go too fast. Mindful of balance. Even though I have one side that's moving, stationary side is working hard. It's keeping you strong and balanced in this position. So we get our last lifts. Okay, and I'll just get one more. And back down. Rest that right side down and lift the left side in front. So again, that left weight is in front. Again, just make sure if you need the chair on the other side, swap it around. And again, lift. Knee towards waist. Again, doesn't matter if I don't hit the weight. It's just about lifting as high as I'm comfortable and just challenging your upper body by holding the weight. I know guys in the classes will be familiar with kind of our farmer walks where we hold the weight and walk up and down. So this is a little bit like a play on that, but also working balance, coordination in a stationary position. So let's just continue on. Keep this controlled. Just like I can, you should be able to talk as you perform. The movement should be tough and maybe challenging, but think you should still be able to talk. So if you couldn't or felt really breathless, that would be a cue to take a little rest. And down, okay? Hold on to the weights and let's take a seat. Again, as I said, I think it's really best on this one to do it in a seated position, particularly today. Sorry for the noise there. Okay. So our chest sweep. So my palms are faced forward, bearing the weight. I sit tall and I have a little bit of back support. So I just don't want to be kind of bent or arched. I just want to feel comfortable and strong. Weights outside my side of my body. And I press through. And slowly back. So I just press through, slowly back. So I just try and get a little squeeze, connection in my chest. Okay? The weights will kind of merge towards each other, and in that same way I get that little squeeze connection in my chest. And again, as I say, I think it's just really best trying this one in the seated position. So my upper body is fixed, it's not moving. I just press the weights forward and I get that nice squeeze connection in my chest. We'll get one last repetition here. Squeeze slowly down. Finished with the weights, so you can rest the weights down. On the table here. And we will do our final movement on each side. So again, have your chair here for support, definitely on this one. Walk your left foot forward, so it's slightly forward. And then I bring my right knee up. And a little step back. Now, if you feel very comfortable and don't need the support, that's fine. But do just have the chair nearby so it's available if you did feel unbalanced. Again, as I keep saying, just trying to regulate that movement. You can go quite fluid with this movement, or you can slow it down depending on how you're finding all of this work. Again, I can still talk as I perform these exercises. I'm not really breathless, but I do feel from a muscular point a little bit of soreness, like I've worked my body. I certainly have in this session, but I feel in control still. Let's get our last lift and back down. Just going to swap sides. Again, chair is there. Even if I don't feel I need it, just have it nearby for support. Right foot, take a little step forward. And then I begin. Left knee up and back. So that nice big lift and a little step back. Again, I will use the chair if I need for my support. And if I'm in a seated position, I'm just lifting that knee up, a big lift of the knee. Upper body is kind of fixed, so I'm not rounding or bending my position. I'm just getting a nice lift in front of that knee. And again, you can see here for me, I can still talk. I'm finding this a tough exercise, but I'm not breathless. I can still talk. I'm still in control. And that's how we want it to be all the time. We'll just get 2 more lifts. 1 more. And rest down. Okay. So let's take a seat and go into a cool down. Grab a drink of water. Take a little rest on the back of the chair if you need. Okay. And we're just going to sit down. So we will just go into a cool down. Hopefully we found that okay. We worked for about 45 seconds per movement. So we did a little kind of aerobic block at the start with our marching and lower body work, just using body weight. And then we moved into a kind of aerobic strength circuit. So lots of movements, but using weights and body weight. So a tough enough format. But again, it seems people even without COPD have found the class style interesting. So absolutely, hopefully you enjoyed that. So let's go into a cool down. That was a tough session. So it is important you just take a couple of minutes to relax the body, just to unwind. So very simple to begin. I'm just going to lift my right knee up, hands on the knee, and gently pull in. Okay, and I'll just show you that from the side maybe. You can see my upper body is kind of fixed. Lift the knee up and gently pull. Just not to kind of let my body bend forward. Just gently pull that knee in. Nice little stretch. This can be really nice on the lower back. And I rest down. I'll do the opposite side. Left knee is up. Just bring hands on. And gently raise that knee up. And hold position. But if this feels too tight, too sore, relax the position a little bit. So this is about relaxing down. So I don't want to go too hard on our stretches. And back down. Let's just do each side once more. Right knee up. Hands on. And a gentle little pull. And I'm just looking straight ahead. Back down. Left knee up. And I will just finish with that little breathing technique at the very end as well. I'm just going to slow down with movements first and back down. Okay, hands on legs, just slowly stretch down. Take a few seconds, straighten back up. Again, gently stretch down, straighten back up. Nothing too vigorous, just unwinding the body. Stretch down and back up. A few seconds. Okay, just going to work on the chest. Just everything okay. Brilliant. Thanks very much, Liz, Eileen, Deirdre. Great stuff. Thanks very much, everyone. That's great to hear. We did do a bit of work on the chest, so let's just stretch out that chest. Very simple technique here. Arms across chest. Pull back. Just open out that chest. So I'm just kind of opened out this position, stretched out. Back in. And what I can do now is bring a little breathing in. So what I want to do is big deep breath in through nose as I open. And then release out mouth. So a nice little chest stretch with some breathing. And release. We'll do 3 more of these. Two more. And once more. Perfect. Little stretch at the back next. So actually, yeah, we'll sit forward. I always get different little ideas, but no, I have to restrain myself. Let's just keep it control. Let's not get too, so nice and tall. Right arm is up and turn towards the back of the chair. If you can't reach the back of the chair, so if I had to stop here, that's fine. If comfortable, I turn fully. And I get a really nice feeling in the back. I get a nice squeeze. And I just feel the front of my body open up. Just feels really nice. Relax down. Left arm is up. And I lead towards back of the chair. So again, I get a nice little stretch in the back. A little squeeze. And I also open out that front of the body, the chest. Let's just go once more. Right arm. Towards back of the chair. Hold. And back down. And finally on the left. Turn, rest on the back of the chair, pause, and back down. Okay, one last stretch and we'll finish with our breathing. I'm going to do this standing. You could still try it in a seated position if you prefer, but all I do is hands together, arms straight, gently pull back. And you'll see my upper body doesn't change, so I don't bend or arch. This is all from the shoulders. And relax. So again, keep hands together, arms straight, gentle pull back. Nothing too vigorous. This is cooling down. This shouldn't be really strained or anything. Just nice, relaxed. And back. Once more. Pull back. Hold. And down. Okay. Just to finish, as I said, I just wanted to give us one breathing technique to kind of focus on and try. So again, imagine you have a candle in front. So I think you take a short breath in, fill the lungs, and slow release. So if there was a candle lit in front, it would flicker. It wouldn't blow out, it would just flicker. Big deep breath in. Taking your time. So again, it will just flicker. Big deep breath in. I'm just going to do 2 more. Once more. And relax. Okay, so that concludes our session. I hope you enjoyed it. I must say I really enjoyed that one. I got probably carried away at times. I did enjoy that one. So hopefully you did too. As I say, that's kind of sample of the work we would do in our COPD classes. So people with lung conditions like COPD. But equally, if you don't have, I hope you enjoyed that as well and maybe got something from it. So hopefully you enjoyed the class and enjoy the rest of your day. And I'll talk to you again soon. But really well done, everyone. Not an easy workout. So if you completed that, really well done. give yourself a good cup of tea or coffee as a reward after that. So talk to you soon. Well done, everyone. Well done, everyone on YouTube. Hopefully you enjoyed that. Sorry if I went out with shot a couple of times. Just hard to get the two perfect, but hopefully you enjoyed that. And well done.